One thing I forgot to ask from the South Bay game, we didn't get a look at the replay. Did Braxton get fouled there on Tyler's block late, or
maybe? But I didn't think they'd call it.
Okay, gotcha. How close to tab are you guys kind of keeping on that RGB game?
Very. I have it on right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it matters. It'll impact our strategy tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how does the message change if like RGB wins that game?
I don't even know that I'll say anything, but I will definitely make sure everyone plays if that happens.
Okay. So like rotations would like just back on time.
Yeah, 5, 6, who cares? But if we have a chance to get a home game, we're gonna go full suit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna be asking my usual Golden State Warriors tangential arm's length questions. But first off, with Taran Armstrong, the fans love his flair and all of that, of course. And I was listening to a radio bit by Kirk Lacob. He was talking about player development, David Fatoki, kind of like he even mentioned like key performance indicators and talking about how they're looking for certain player development KPIs. Would you happen to know what those might be for Taran and anything on the player development side? And how's he been playing lately, by the way?
I'll answer that one first because I have more education on that. He's been great. He's integrated to our group really seamlessly. Our league is so much faster than Australia, and I think it suits him better. Like, he's really good in transition. He's good with more space to play with. He makes all of the ball screen reads pretty easily. So he's been great for us. In terms of the KPIs, I think they have, there's like core tenets for every person that we bring into the program. I haven't been told anything specific on Taran. Just go see how he is.
One of the hot buttons along those lines of player development is Quinten Post on the podium literally last night, talking about how he was kind of surprised about the volume of threes he was asked to shoot here. I was wondering if you could take us back to maybe a funny story about that, because he talks about it a little bit, but it'd be really cool to have like a backstory. He was kind of like, well, at Boston College, I didn't really have a lot of volume, and then now they're telling me to shoot 8 or 9, and it's kind of like surprised by that.
Yeah,
and are you sure? I'm uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, we had a few different conversations like that throughout his time here, but yeah, there was one in in Phoenix where I told him, like, if you're gonna go up there, they're gonna want you to shoot 10 a game, and he was still kind of. He doesn't say no, but he was still like, I don't want to just be this stretch 5. Like, I still like being able to roll on ball screens and get the pocket and do all that stuff, which I was good with. Like, he knows he needs to be a complete player. Like, obviously it's great that he's shooting threes and he's provided such a unique dimension for them offensively, but that's not the only thing that makes him good. And what I like about him is he knows who he is and he knows what he's good at, and he'll still roll. He's not going to just pop every single time because he's thinking he's a shooter. He rolls when the coverage says to roll, and he'll catch the ball in the pocket and he'll make the right pass. So he does a good job. He's a smart basketball player.
There's been talk about his defense probably being more of the concern, if anything, but what can he do now that he's up there better? Now, like last night, might be dropping on a pick and roll on defense.
We were playing. I didn't watch their game last night, so I don't know.
Well, there's athletic limitations in terms of foot speed and vert. So what are some things that you were telling him to improve on defense over here then, as an example?
That entirely, early positioning. He's really good. He's always in the right spot. That's where the NBA is just so hard. Like, he's always in the right spot. It's that he's limited athletically and physically as to what he can actually do to impact guys at the rim, whereas other guys can be in the wrong spot and take one step and be in the right spot. Those guys always get drafted higher, but they don't always actually make the right plays. But when you have a guy that can do both, that's why Draymond's so special. Draymond's always in the right spot, and he takes one step and is there and impacts you. When you have a guy like that, like, that's the goal. But Quinten still has to get there.
I forgot to ask about back to the threes. So he's now Quinten's now averaging 9 threes per 36, and I looked it up. Klay was at like 10.
Nice.
So, I mean, is
The
that a
game's changed,
surprise
too.
to
That's
you?
Klay for his career. I mean, the game's changed dramatically in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But no, that maybe. So I guess no, it's not that big a surprise. Like I think 2015 we led the league in threes and we took 31 a game. And if you take 31 a game now, you're last. Like, this is, it's the progression of the league, progression of basketball.
Another question on progression of the league, thanks guys, is Gary Payton just went down with an injury. He's the Golden State's best point of attack defender. Is it like harder to play point of attack now in the modern NBA, would you think?
Yes, for sure. It's way more space for offensive players to play with and less contact allowed. So it is so much harder to guard. And the talent is at an all-time high. Like every industry, things get better over time, and basketball is no different. So yeah, I think this is the hardest it's ever been to guard anybody, but especially like the top players in the league.
Following up on that, depending on Gary's availability, but if he's still not available by the time Santa Cruz season wraps up, do you think there might be some time for Braxton?
Maybe.
For with the rest of the regular
Yeah,
season?
we'll see. I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone about any of this stuff, but I would love to see him get a chance out there. He's a monster defensively.
Yeah.
It's too bad I'm not allowed to vote. We have to do our voting stuff and for like awards, and I'm not allowed to vote him defensive player of the year. Like, well,
Really?
I only had him 10 of the 50 games. Like,
You did play against
we
him.
played him 4 times. He's a monster. So I'd imagine Paul Hewitt will vote for him defensively.
How-
Maybe I should just ask Paul. Hey, make sure you vote your guy, because if I would have, he's incredible.
How has your perception changed or stayed the same from playing against Braxton to coaching Braxton?
He's more dynamic offensively than I thought he was. He's such a better passer. He has really, he has such force going to the rim. So knew what he was capable of defensively. Didn't know he was this talented on offense, and just his ability to read the game, to flow, to play kind of the style that we've changed to because of him. We're even more random than we used to be.
I want to stay on Braxton, actually. For those that don't get to see him every day, and G League highlights aren't going to show defensive highlights that much, what makes him incredible?
His instincts. He must get 10 deflections a game. He can play the cat and mouse and pick and roll great. He can guard one-on-one. He's a great help side defender. So if you name a concept defensively, he's either good or great at it.
Are we able to connect the dots between Beekman, then you lose Beekman, and then getting Braxton? Is there kind of like a need for that kind of defender?
It's different. Like Reese was 6'1", 6'2", and Braxton 6'8". We definitely prioritized defense. It wasn't just that with Reese though. Reese is a good player. Brooklyn wanted him in the trade, so we traded him, but it's not like we wanted to trade him. And then, Braxton just, he was a March 1st 2A, and it was basically like, who's the best player to help us win? So our front office did a good job identifying him.
One last one is, how about just getting to know Taran from afar? How's his defense?
Way better. This is stereotyping, but he's good defensively. He can stay in front of the ball. He's got toughness. He'll take contact and not back down. And he boxes out and takes charges. So that's been a pleasant surprise for me. I thought, especially just the change in league and where he played in college, I thought he would struggle with the speed and athleticism and space, and he's been one of our better defenders.
I actually got one more because I was talking to KD.
Last one.
Taran did a between the legs up from the baseline to the corner pass, and once that starts to get out to the general fandom,
Is that the one that went out of bounds?
I don't know.
Oh, last night.
Yeah,
We got that one. Yeah. That's a good pass.
They're gonna wanna know when can we pair him with Steph on the same court type of deal. Well, what's your reaction to something like that?
I don't have one. Just coaching our team, and we got the playoffs to worry about. So